I'll take my glasses off with it. Whoa! Now I really can't see shit. Welcome to the Elevate and Dommenate Podcast. I am Goddess Aroya.
Mistress Odessa.
Mistress Kayla.
And yes, y'all, we are back again with another episode. Today, we are going to be exploring Femdom fiction. This is an interview with author BJ Frazier. So we want you guys to know, she does not come on camera. Okay. Very exclusive interview that you guys are getting. You won't get to see her face, but you will hear her lovely voice and you will see our lovely faces. So I hope you enjoy the show today. Before we get started, we are going to get into some hot topics. If there are any fucking hot topics. I don't even know if there are any hot topics. Are there any hot topics, you guys? Have you been looking at any hot topics? Does anyone know? Do you really know?
Like the Olympics, so not really.
I've been really into the Olympics. Now you guys said, I know you both said that you don't do Olympics.
I did the powerlifting, and then my mom's obsessed with that Filipino gymnastic guy because she's Filipino. But other than that, I just haven't really had time either. So
my aunt's from Kenya, and so there was a Kenyan runner that won, so that was cool.
Oh, cool.
Of course, as a sister, I'm rooting for anybody black. You know what I mean? You guys back up just a little bit so you can have the same depth as I do. Yeah. There you go. I'm definitely rooting. I'm rooting for everybody. I'm rooting for all the women, of course, and all the black women. And it don't matter where you from, Nigeria, Uganda. I don't care, sister. As long as you up there on the podium, I'm like, go, baby. Get it. I'm really excited about that because, I have this, like I said, the spirit of competition. And I think we just got a really good suggestion. And it was to do a Dom dating game.
That's such a good idea, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like Dom dating game might be a good live episode. We've been getting a lot of views on YouTube. I don't know if you guys keep up with it, but most of our shows are over 200 to 300 views. Some of them are at 5, some are 10K. Some at 7K. Yeah. So we're starting to get more views. And you guys, we're sorry. Like, we have to do it the way we do it. So somebody made a comment the other day and they said it's like hanging out with my homegirls.
Oh, that's good though.
Yeah, and that's good. So I was like, yeah, girl, like, it's not the quality that all the other shows are, but it is like hanging out with your homegirls. And
it's the quality.
Exactly. I'm hanging out with my homegirls.
Yeah.
And we're talking about kinky shit.
Yeah.
That's so dope. I love it. So we do have a guest today.
Yes,
I'm very excited. We have a Femdom fictional writer by the name of BJ Frazier. We are going to get into it today.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready?
I have questions. Yeah. I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
Before we get into it, you guys, you already know. Patreon.
Yes. Yeah.
Patreon.
Go to the Patreon page. I'm going to say it throughout the entire thing. Sign up for our YouTube, TikTok, anything in which our name is on, go to it.
Yes.
Or I will smack you.
Go to our website, dominate.com. You'll be able to find some episodes for the podcast. You'll be directed to the podcast. And if you want to learn more about each one of us, go ahead and click the pictures and they'll lead you into the rabbit hole.
Yeah. The biggest rabbit hole is Patreon.
Yeah, the biggest rabbit hole is Patreon. We are looking to support the podcast. And if you want to see quality, then we need quantity, baby. Dollars. You know what I'm saying?
I like it.
Dollars.
Not the smallest violin.
Right. We want
monies.
So yes, we would love for you guys to go ahead and support us by joining our Patreon. And go ahead and start the conversation on there. Go ahead. Find us on, right now, our biggest viewership is Instagram. We're growing on Instagram and Facebook. All of our Facebook friends, we have some people on there that have some information they want to share. They want to be on the show. And so hello, Facebook.
So you scared me with that last story about Facebook. So I'm very nervous to go on there.
But no, it's all good. Yeah. Everybody's having good comments. Everybody has good comments. Everybody's positive. And we should share our drink of the day, right?
Our drink of the day?
Yeah, because we've been having a drink every time. And I think that's a cool thing because it's our little unwind time with the girls. And so if you guys want to join in on the drinks with us, what is bartender?
Oh, it's a shot of Kahlua.
Espresso.
Oh, here it comes.
An espresso martini, and
It's
mine
really
is
good.
black.
Mine's got whipped cream in it.
Yes. So,
Mine is
cheers,
good.
cheers, ladies.
So
Let's do a
good.
good episode with BJ Frazier.
Can't wait to wake up.
So, we are going to bring in BJ Frazier, who is a femdom fictional author. She has several books out, several series out right now. We're going to let her inform you. I looked at, there was a character that I really want to know about, Andrew DuPont, who was, his name was, I think it was Femdom or something Stop Domination. Ooh, Last Stop Domination. So I want to know about how she's building these characters. We are going to talk to BJ about that. Like we said, you won't see her face, but you will hear her wonderful voice. So let's bring on BJ Frazier.
Yay!
Hello, BJ.
Hello, lovely ladies.
Oh, she's so cute.
How are you?
I am so amazing, and thank you so much for inviting me on your wonderful show. I've been watching your podcast, and you guys rock it. And I am an author, so if you will allow me one edit to your Patreon.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so I believe that Mistress Odessa said, if you don't sign up, then she will spank you. However, I think what she meant to say that if you do sign up, she will virtually spank you.
There. I normally say I'm gonna hit you, and then I'll charge you double. But I feel like I've said that a lot. So I'm like,
I
love that.
Good. I like
you.
that.
I was like literally getting. I was like, okay,
I know. It's like,
no.
I love. Thank you.
Yes. So thank you for stopping through with us. I was able to speak to you at DomCon, and of course, like I forgot that you said you're not on camera, and I love that. I think that keeps it, mysterious, and it keeps it so like you really can dive into the characters because you really don't know BJ Frazier.
That's right.
I love
that. Indeed.
Yeah, it adds a different element to it, I think. Yeah.
That's great. I love that. So do you want to go ahead and tell a little bit more about what you do and how long you've been in the business? Because we have so many wonderful questions, but I don't want to be the one talking because I will jibber jab, girl. I will talk your head off. Let's hear from you.
Talking is fine. I don't mind it. I actually have been accused of being a writer my entire life, and I rebelled against it, of course. Hell no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. I hate the writing process. I hate editing. I hate everything about it. And then I fell into kink after I got divorced, so much later in life, and I loved it. And I was like, God damn, why didn't I do this earlier?
Yes,
and
me too, girl.
Yeah. And so then I came up with a story, and I started writing, and I loved it. I loved the entire process. I even loved editing. I loved everything about it. And I was like, so do I have another story after this one? And I said, don't worry about it. Finish this one and we'll see what happens. And now I'm almost at 60 books.
Oh my goodness.
That's amazing.
Girl.
Yeah, so I love it.
I love that.
You must love it. You must love it. You love the process. And I did see that you were a high school teacher, an English teacher. Was that?
I was, yeah.
Okay, because I was like, I seen that, and I wanted to know, how have your experiences as a high school English teacher and advertising executive and a business owner influenced your writing, your style, and your creation of all your characters? Because you have some really interesting characters,
and a lot of them.
Thank you. Thank you. And that is such a cool question. I think that because my background is so diverse, And I've spent a lot of time with different types of people that I'm able to portray them with a lot more realism in my characters. And I'm able to delve into a lot more background about the jobs that they do because I have an eclectic background. So I think that hopefully adds to the realism of what I write.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I read a sample from, it was like the Cyber Veil. I don't remember the full name. Because I took the character test and my character was jazz, so I was like, I'm gonna read a jazz book. And then the sample, I was like, I think I texted you guys. I was like, I feel like I'm reading like a diary. I was like, she must be pulling from real life experience because it was like, I was like, that's what I would think, you know.
That's so cool. So that one is a lot more autobiographical than the majority of my other stories. So, Mistress Odessa, you and I share something there.
Okay.
I'll DM you, Brad. Yay.
And so jazz starts off with a lot of sex chat online with writing. And that's how I started out. And so my English teacher background has made me somewhat of a snob because when I get into these chat rooms and people can't spell or they can't type because
or the grammar is terrible.
No, the character was saying like, oh, they didn't like leave the like proper grammar, but like, oh, I like learned to let things slide. That's so funny. Like, so I can see it. Like, I can see what you're saying. I can like see you now in that like the fourth or whatever.
All right. Well, thank you for appreciating that because most people don't. But I learned before I would go into a private kinky chat room, I would ask people, how fast do you type? And what's your age, sex, and location? And because I type 125 words a minute. So if you're leaving me hanging when I'm panting and moaning and I've got drippage coming from me, and I've got to wait for you to come back with what you're going to do to me, I'm kind of out of it at that point. So if you can't type as fast as I do and you can't conjugate properly, then I'm not chatting with you.
Yeah, that's fair. Did you actually have, what did you call it? Like the something notch or like the notch document?
Yes, I did.
I love it. Oh my God.
Well, it helps because at that point I was kind of addicted to sex chatting. And when you have somebody that actually has the ability to create a scene visually with words and can type and has marginally good grammar, then you're taken to a different world. So I wanted to keep track of those people that I was communicating with because there's so many different people, then I can just look them up. And the next time I go in, if I don't remember and somebody kind of sounds, maybe I could go into a chat room with them, then I'll look at my document. And if I have a note that says, no, definitely not this person, then I'm like, oh, thank you, not to document.
Yeah, hold on. Let me tell you.
So I wanted to know, was writing always your passion? Like, because like, did it just kind of fall into play as you were chatting with someone online and you were like, you know what? I think I should start writing. Or was this something that you have always done? You just like were writing little books on the side.
Sorry, she's too hot.
Okay. Do you want me to stop for a second?
No, I just need to move her because she's like going under the sand. She's way too hot.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Give us a second.
Sure thing. Must be all that sex chat that made her hot.
I know.
I used to, like, they used to call it cybering. I used to like cyber all the time.
What, cyber sex?
Yeah.
Cyber sex
right, I
chatting?
think that's what they used to call it. Like, oh, go on like cyber with like.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, was it always your passion? Was it, something that that led you to it? Like you did say that you were divorced. Do any of your characters have any of that in there? Any
So
person inspired stories,
yeah,
possibly?
yes. So the next person that's most likely is, or like me, sorry, is Jenica Avery from Mistress Managed.
Mm,
Um, and
that's your
so
latest, right?
nope, that was the first one that
That
got
was the
a
first
publisher, actually.
one. Okay.
Oh.
Um, and so I have always kind of written just normally. I went to camp when I was little, and so that's where my family would say, "Ah, she's such a writer. You need to write." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I just wrote you letters. Like that's nothing."
And the fact that
Um,
you did
That's
that.
that's an art. The art of writing letters, that is an art.
well, that's before, the internet came along. So that's how we communicated back then.
True.
um, of course, those letters were like, "I hate this place. Get me out of here now."
I love it.
Save me.
So funny.
Yes.
So one thing
So
I really
I
oh, sorry.
to answer your question, I guess it's always come naturally to me.
Mhm.
And it's only in, the past 8 years, 8 to 10 years, that I have actually given in and said, okay, I can do this. I'm a writer.
Yeah. I'm so curious, and I don't know if this is like almost random, but um regarding you being a teacher in the past, is that maybe why you like don't show your face as like actively to like keep things still like more private? I don't know if you mind me asking that.
It's part that, and it's also part, I am not completely fully out like you guys.
Oh,
So
yeah.
So I
Yeah.
haven't really, like, I'm obviously getting there because I go to DomCon. I met the wonderful Goddess Aroya. We had a wonderful vibe.
Yeah.
And so I am out per se when I go to these public events.
Mhm.
I just have to become a little bit more comfortable with that.
Of course. No, and I love and thank you for just even coming on and like
Yeah.
Yeah,
sharing,
because that does take a lot to be able to you're still expressing yourself, and I know you want to be able to share your creations, and do you feel like maybe in this situation sometimes that limits you, that the fact that you don't share as much as your personal information or your face? Do you think that limits like your interviews and stuff like that, or do you still get offers for other podcasts and television shows?
Um, I don't know whether it limits me or not. You guys, I am a virgin, or you are de-virginizing me right now.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
you are my first interview, and you always remember your first. So
Oh,
Really?
oh
Oh
my
my goodness, I did not know
it's
that.
not a throuple, but what would this
yeah.
is
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a throuple
Yay.
anymore, baby. It's four of us. Actually, there's five of us. We got
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, so
that's
my
that.
first deflowering is as an orgy, so I appreciate that. Thank you,
I
guys.
love that.
Oh, girl, I don't know if I typed that quickly or that properly, but maybe
So
we'll
you know what? So that was my mistake. I was saying something about Mistress Managed, but it was book one. But you just had that transitioned into an audio book. Is that correct?
Oh, yes.
So how was that? How was transitioning from regular book to audio book? Because I personally like to, use my voice for creative projects. And I know that it does take a lot to audio record and get it published and like get it in Kindle and all that. So how was that
Yep.
process?
Um, so Thomas Antonsen and I have been friends for years, and it was you had asked also before, what was the collaboration process. So I'm
Mhm,
going to switch and answer that first because
mhm.
because there was no collaboration. That was my book. These are my words, and I told him
I heard
Oh,
that. That's
yeah.
get your
exactly how
credit.
to
Let's
say
go.
it.
Get your credit. Pop
I
your
love
collar.
that.
No, seriously though, um, we had worked together in the past, and this is the first time that we had come together to actually record. We had tried being in opposite places, and that was before COVID, so before Zoom. And it was successful, but it was really difficult on him to edit everything afterwards. But putting it together wasn't so bad because I had written it. When I write, I see the movie in my head. So I see the people talking. When I go into dialogue, I shift the scene in my head to be that person talking and looking from that perspective. When I go to the next person to talk, then I shift the scene and look through that character's eyes. So from that aspect, it wasn't difficult. What was difficult was I love alliteration, but to say it aloud,
Yeah,
there
it's different.
there are places, and actually Thomas is working on an outtakes reel because we have a lot of bloopers in this trilogy that we voiced. And so all over there, I'm sure this is not going to be a spoiler, but all over there, I'll be tripping over my words and I'll say, "Who the fuck wrote this? Like, this is crap." And of course, you
That's
would say, "Why, you did."
So you guys used your own voices. So the like I'm assuming like obviously some male characters or whatever was done by your friend Tom, and then the other female characters were done by you.
Yes, and that was another difficult thing too, because throughout the years, I have told Thomas, we need to record this together. So when you listen, there's a sample on my website also. When you listen to the sample, you can hear him and he is professional. Like he sounds
yes.
awesome. So it was a bit daunting to record with someone who could do this with so much ease. Um, but and I forgot what I was just going to say.
No, girl, I do
It's
it
all
all the
good,
time.
yeah.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Did you
It's
like
about
alter your voice for the different characters?
Sorry?
Did you go ahead?
Did you alter your voice for like the different females?
Yes, I tried to, and I don't think I'm as good as Thomas. And I'll go back to what I just forgot, and that was Mr. Sodessa's question. When Thomas first heard this book, because he's also my editor, he was like, "This I can see as a movie. This is strictly movie material." And
Right.
I was like, "Cool, yeah, I could see this too, and you and I need to voice this." And he said for years, he said, "No, you have to
Oh,
voice this entire thing." And
oh wow.
and he said, "People don't care about the voices, they care about the author. They wanna hear the author reading her own words." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I cannot
That-
banter with myself."
Yeah. That's so interesting.
You just answered my question because there was a character in the last stop domination, the Andrew DuPont, and I was like, well, you're reading it, but it felt like okay, I see it from this guy's perspective, so it was like I was kind of confused, but then I was like, no, that's kind of cool though.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool because I still, even though I hear your voice, I still can see how the character is like shifty and like I can kind of feel the character through your voice because nobody probably knows the character as much as you do.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. It's Final Stop Domination.
Final
Um,
stop. Final stop. There we go.
and usually when I start to write a book, it takes me a couple of chapters to get into the character's speech pattern. So
Hmm.
normally all of my characters have a different way of speaking. And
Mm.
Andrew came out of the gate just showing me who he was and how he spoke. And there was no question that I needed to voice him because
True.
of the way he
True.
spoke.
Yeah.
That's true, because I really did I kind of, like you said, even though it was just a small portion of it, I was like, okay, maybe I need to check this one out, because the way that you shifted me into, oh, this is okay, this guy is like, the way that you can already kind of see how that person saw the world.
Right.
Just the way that you were, the shifty way you were saying certain things, like this guy, and like just the way you were saying things, I was like, oh, this character has a lot of layers. And
Thank
so
you.
how do you, when you're coming from a character that is a male character, where are you getting this? Are you like channeling this information? Like, how are you doing this? Are you using like old clients or old people that you know, or how are you building the character like that?
So first of all, I am not a professional dominatrix.
Okay.
When I went out and had kinky sex, that was to have kinky sex.
All right.
And 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 because of the way I did it, which was really ass backwards, the safest
Yeah,
way
well,
for me to do
that
that.
can mean so many different things.
I know. What do you mean it was ass backwards?
Well, so I mean, I was safe to a certain extent. Like I met them at a public place first, and then I kissed much more than I fucked. Let's put it that way. And
Oh, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
What's wrong with that, girl?
then because of, the nature of things, it was much safer for me to be dominant in those situations, and
Yeah.
it was fun as hell. So that's where that came from.
Oh my God, you probably like broke open that man's world. Like, oh, thank God, who is this woman? Like, just taking what she wants. I love it.
I'm starting to get like very curious. So when you were having these kinky chats online, oh girl, I'm starting. Okay, so
I know.
were you like, okay, wait a minute, let me build a character from this? Were you building that persona, like a different persona online, and then you meet him up and like dominate? Oh girl, that sounds hot.
Okay. So that does sound like fun, but that is not what I did. The two
Oh,
the
like
two
what?
are kind of different. I started sex chatting, and then I ventured into real life, but I was always me.
Love it.
Um and so as far as coming up with male characters, I've always been able to talk to men as friends. When I was in first grade, I had I was married to a guy.
In
That
first
was my
grade?
best friend. Yes, and I won't say his name, but, we were married, and,
What?
Wait,
we
elaborate on
played.
that. We can't just
Wait,
say
wait,
that.
wait, 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 wait.
What do you
Like
mean?
fake married?
Like
Wait,
that's the person
like
that you got a divorce from?
No, 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 no. Yeah, I began my kink life at age 7. No, no,
We
no.
can't stay over that.
No, it was just, that's what kids said. So
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
we obviously we're freaking out over
Okay,
here.
I'm like,
oh my goodness.
what?
No, no, no. I apologize. Like, you gotta be careful with age shit and stuff. No, no, no. That was not like that. But we did play superheroes on the playground, and I was Wonder Woman. And I created all of the stories that we did.
Oh yeah, so
Mhm.
at a really young age. Okay.
The
Role
there.
playing starting early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
started early. Like,
The
and then
stories are here.
she starts out with a dominant character. I'm Wonder Woman. You do what I say.
Husband.
We're married.
No,
I'm the
he asked me.
I'm
He
the
asked me.
mom.
Push me on the swing. Okay. Sorry.
I love that. I love that. I love that.
That's amazing. So you kind of started, yeah, I guess role play quite
Yeah,
young.
quite
So
young.
it's been in your
And
blood.
that's why when I actually got into role play and femdom and incorporated it with kink, I was like, fuck, like I could have been doing this since college. This is
Mhm.
right up my alley.
Really?
Yeah.
It seems like it was more a part of you than you actually knew.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like kink arrives in your life like when you're truly
Friday.
No, it's okay.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Little exit there, a little accident. My apologies. Just twitching so we can make your questions viewable. So I wanted to talk about, you just talked about how your personal experiences kind of impacted that. Do you feel like you're now drawing from those experiences even more as writing, or do you feel like now you're just developing the characters? Like now, are you feeling like, oh, I can draw from my life more and experiencing more kinky things in your life that you can draw into the
Wait, yeah, are you still
storyline?
doing kinky things like in your personal life now? I'm on
Oh,
nosy.
yeah.
We're all like,
Absolutely. Like once you taste that, you can't go back, right?
never.
Oh, girl, I like this.
Yeah.
I love
Um,
that.
and so I think that any author will tell you that there's a little piece of them in every book that they write. It's kind of
Mhm.
difficult not to do that just because you are what you experience.
Mhm.
Um, so so yeah, there's a little bit of me in the majority of my characters, not all of them. Um, and in going to DomCon and going to classes and stuff and being online in kinky sites and, I've learned stuff that I didn't know existed. And so like when I started into this realm of kink, your line kind of keeps expanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, when I first looked at stuff, I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna watch some porn." And I pulled up romantic porn, and I was like, "Oh, this is hot," I would love this. And then, there's those little thumbnails of they're like, "Well, maybe you'll like this."
Yeah,
And
the
there was
hashtag.
yeah,
I know.
The rabbit hole.
right, exactly. Well, so when I first started, I was like, "Oh, no, no, no. Nothing gay. That is disgusting. I don't wanna have anything to do with it." And domination, it was like, "Oh, ooh, ooh, too harsh," just give me
Right.
some nice loving.
Yeah, some of them are
Um,
too intense. Though.
Yeah,
And
some of
then-
them I'm like,
yeah.
that's not real. Like, everybody relax.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't you feel bad for the people that see porn as their first entree into sex, and they think that if they don't have money for the pizza, that they can just pay with it for with sex? Like,
Yeah.
She
like
said my like trigger word pizza. I was like, how am I getting my pizza?
No, that is so true because some people that's the only thing that they can draw from, and to like that's why we have so many sexually unhealthy people, because they go online and they're like, ooh, Pornhub, this is how I'm gonna have sex with her. I'm gonna fuck her, I'm gonna pull her hair, and we're like,
Exactly.
no, like I want you to play with my toes first, lick my ear, do a little
Yeah.
something, be romantic, and
Actually,
it just
pay for my
doesn't
pizza.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buy me a pizza.
Actually, pay for it.
And don't forget the pose with the hand on the hip and angled out toward the
Exactly.
camera.
We need all
Yeah,
of that.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of new people, like newbies, basically. That's where they come from. They'll be like, "Oh, I saw this stuff on like X Hamster," and I'm like, "Well, we're not doing that."
Yeah.
So like, that's absolutely not
100%
happening.
of what you saw does not happen here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I always, like, when I'm speaking to someone online, the moment they go, yeah, I want to do like some dominatrix stuff, like just dominate me. And it's like, what?
You're like, oh no.
You already
Yeah,
know,
you're
like,
like,
you
"No,
got this from the
elaborate."
Pornhub. So what does that mean to you? Yeah, like, I don't
Right.
know, like some whips and some choking stuff. Yeah. Like, no,
Right.
you don't know what you want. It's not going to work.
Yeah. No, I always follow up with like those that are like, you can do whatever you want.
I know. I'm like,
so I can kick
uh-uh,
you in the
no.
balls really hard, and they're like, no. I'm like, okay. See,
Exactly.
we have a direction now. And speaking of like hard limits, what are your hard limits, if you don't mind me asking? Because you're you're in the king world in a different way that I would say we are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So my hard limits are scat, which actually I've found out isn't really that much of a hard limit with professionals. So have you guys ever experienced a client who wanted that?
Yeah.
I've had people
One,
ask,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I can't do it quite yet.
Yeah.
She's like,
No comment over here. No comments over here.
Like permanent markings.
Yeah.
I think like just the common stuff. I personally am not into adult baby play.
Yeah, that one's a little
Okay,
weird.
that's a little different.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
It depends. I'm not sure. I've never had anyone ask me to change a diaper, but
I ain't changing every diaper. But.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not as fun. Wait, what was, do you mind me asking, like, the first time you went out and you were like, I'm gonna have that kinky six? What was, like, do you mind, like, what were some of the things that you experimented with the first time?
There's a scene in Mistress Managed that is very close to the first one that I ever did. The first toy that I ever bought was a crop, and that was an impulse buy. But I love the crop because it is completely versatile. You can use it hard. You can use it to, like kind of caress um, and you can tease and do all kinds of things. And I think for me, it gives me more precise hits because I think you have more control over it. At least I do.
Yeah.
So that's what I first did. I also did orgasm denial.
Favorite.
And yeah, that was so much fun. Yeah.
Yes, I love it.
No. Like right before.
And no.
Love that.
Go on.
Look, we're still listening. Any more?
Slapping, pinching nipples. I think that is a highly underrated erogenous area.
It
And-
really is.
And I love it when a guy tells me that he doesn't have sensitive nipples because that's a challenge.
Yes.
So, you know what I wanted to know? What are your thoughts on this is your question, but what are your thoughts on the mainstream literature? Like Shades, 50 Shades of blah blah blah. Like, what are your thoughts on these types of
Yeah. So I personally am not a naysayer of 50. I read the trilogy. I think that there is a lot of good things in the books. Have you guys read it?
I have not read.
I read the first one and the rest I just watched.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
read.
So, well, first of all, I think it's Jamie Dorsey that played Christian Grey. That's not Christian. Christian is Chris Hemsworth. Like that's who Christian is.
That's the feel of that character. Yeah.
Yeah. So the biggest problem that I had with it, aside from what everybody else has a problem with, that it's not true BDSM, but the biggest problem that I had was the naivete of Anastasia.
Yeah.
That here's this beautiful girl who's had tons of boyfriends, who's at college and is a virgin. And the wisdom that she has is coming from the author in her 40s or 50s. And she's bestowing that wisdom to a 20-year-old. And that doesn't work. So, but I do love it because it is the breakthrough book that has kind of given women in our society the permission to enjoy kink.
Yeah.
True. I like that. I like that aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. I never really thought about it that way.
Yeah, when I first saw the movie with my best friend, we were both like, well, at least people are going to be talking about kink now. You know, not great, but like at least they're going to be talking about it. Like we can now have open conversation.
I actually was like crying the first time.
And I can honestly say that, like, you know, that was way before my kink experience, and it did intrigue me because I've always liked rough sex, and I liked the aspect of, like that dominant male. Even though I was more dominant, I liked that idea. So I was intrigued by it when I first read the book, because there were moments where I was like, oh, I'm getting a little hot on this damn book. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I like this shit, but it wasn't a place where I was like, well, let me go see it. I never really experienced anything after reading the books, but now in this lifestyle, I'm like, oh, was that a gateway? I'm like, oh shit, I don't know. It may have been.
So I'm going to gift you guys with the books of your choice. Whatever you pick, Goddess Aroya. I am also going to give you Mistress Managed, because I think that will resonate with you.
I think
It
so too.
is pretty much the femdom version of 50 Shades, but from a much more realistic perspective in terms of what kink is and what kink isn't.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Thank you so much. We want to make sure that our viewers, you guys, please go to bjfrazier.com. You take the test, find out what book resonates with you as well, because she does have several tests on there. I took one and I was like, okay, wait a second.
By the way, I love that.
Right?
Wait. What was your result?
Yeah, it kept telling me to read Ellie though, and I was like, again, I'm not against it, but I didn't like. I was like, personally, I wouldn't necessarily want to read about like gay sex, but it kept saying, I was like, go read it. And I'm like, okay, well, fine.
Because maybe there's something in there that you don't know that will pull you in, and I
mean, it's beautiful.
You just never know. You just never know.
But now I'm all
which
like,
one? So go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no, I want to know.
Oh, when I took the quiz of like which I think book series to read, it kept telling me to go read Ellie, but then I did the character one, and I was like, I'm gonna go do Jazz.
Okay, so Eli, I know that you have the title here is an interview with the Femdom author, but Eli is a gay series, and it won this year's Silver Ippy Awards for Erotica.
That's awesome. Hey, congrats!
Thank you. That. And it's kind of a hard sell, because I've told my readers, you don't have to be gay to like this story. And when they actually get into it and they start reading it, they're like, this is really good. Like, this is power exchange, and it's hot, even though I'm not gay. And I do a book club every couple of months on my site. People get to nominate the books. We have done the Eli series the last 2 months. The next one is coming up August 24th. And I collaborated with another author, Jesse Spector, on this series. And that was a supremely sublime collaboration. And that was my first actual collaboration with another author. And in speaking with authors, everybody is like, what are you talking about? It's horrible. You can never agree on anything. And we did not experience that at all. Our styles complemented one another. In fact, Thomas, our editor, had said after a couple of books that he couldn't even tell which one of us wrote which passage.
That's good. Oh, wow. That's good. Yeah. That's always good when your character becomes somebody that you can just, Yeah.
So we are super proud of that. And if you linked to that, then, I would love feedback on that. And happy to do it. There's also a cantankerous old femdom in that book, and she is a silent star amongst the readers.
Okay,
that's cool.
That's very cool. Okay. I love it. The quote that you have at the top of the book. It says plots and well-developed characters. Do you feel like this is like that's rarely seen in the BDSM community? Like the characters are not to say that you're talking against people, but Do you feel that
Right.
that is the norm? The characters aren't very well developed?
I think that that is a stereotype. I certainly cannot speak to the whole genre. I haven't read everybody. The the volumes that I have read tend to say, yes, that is what's lacking, but I've read several great authors who don't have that. I came up with that because of my advertising background. Um, I wanted to put it's kind of tongue in cheek because the
Mm.
tagline is prefaced with severe content warning.
Yeah. No, I
So
love that. I saw that. That was something. That was at the beginning of the jazz book that I started reading too. I was like,
yeah.
she got
Yeah, that's marketing right there. Marketing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I don't want anybody freaking out when they get in between the pages of my books and find an actual plot. So I just like to say that up front.
And I was so shocked to find out that you write as well. So did you ever were you able to look at a little bit of the books as well? I remember you had a question that was up here that you asked about her
What was it?
development of her question.
Oh yeah, I was just wondering, like, Odessa kind of already asked it, but do you base your characters like on people? Like, do you ever pull them from like real life? Meaning, like,
Sometimes
you
I
ever pull it
do.
from an act, like you take all the characteristics of that person and change their name?
Oh yes.
Um, yes, sometimes I do, not directly, that anybody would be able to tell who they were.
oh,
Um,
that's gonna be my question. I
but
was like,
again, I think that it would be difficult to not do that. As a
Mm,
writer, you're kind of an observer in life
yeah.
and you take note of things. Um, and before I forget, I'm not only gifting you guys, for your listeners for the next week, if they use coupon code EAD, and that's Elevate and Dominate
Ooh,
25, they will get to take 25% off any regularly priced book for the next week.
I love that.
That's awesome.
awesome.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so
Better get on
much.
there.
That's
No, thank
awesome.
you. Thank you.
And it's
And
great.
if you go to my site, because I have so many books, I did create quizzes. It's under the Kinky Links pull down, and you can take a quiz and be matched to a character or a book. And if you're a sub or a dom, you can take the quiz in the reverse order. So if you guys have a perfect sub in your head, you can take the quiz as you would want the sub to answer, and then it would give you that character.
I
I like
like
that.
that. I
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
very
That's
interesting.
interesting. Okay. I'm like,
And
hold
so,
on.
okay, so I'm about to tell you something right now. You may think that I'm a little creepy. Okay. So
Okay.
at DomCon, I watched you interview a few of the top notch Doms. And in my head, I was like, she did tell me she had a book that was about DomCon. So are we in
Yeah.
the works for something? Because I seen you speaking to some pretty influential Dom and
I
specifically some on the board. I'm not gonna say their names, but I saw you because I was like, oh, I'm gonna ask her that. I remembered, and you were in your little quiet space. I didn't want to tap you on your shoulder, but I was watching you. So are we possibly gonna be
so
seeing a 61st or 62nd book that has something else to do with DomCon?
so first of all, thank you for that. There were other people who actually tapped me on my shoulder during a couple of interviews, which is
I
like,
was just watching. I
eh.
was observant. You know what I'm saying?
And secondly, it's kind of cool to have a stalker. So I think I like that.
Okay. One. I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? I don't tell nobody, but yeah, I
Just
did
keep
that.
it to yourself, buddy.
Um,
I was talking you. Yeah,
so,
I was.
so never say never. I will tell you that I do have a trilogy out that's called This Is Not DomCon, and that's with a K.
That's cool.
And so last year DomCon celebrated its 20th anniversary, and I celebrated publishing my 50th book. And I asked Mistress Cyan if I could use DomCon as a backdrop to where
Mm,
my characters could meet and converge in a trilogy. And she agreed. And so it's kind of like a fiction meets reality.
I'm sorry, it re-answered that. Re-answer that. My apologies.
Okay.
Sorry.
From what point?
From DomCon being the
DomCon
background.
with a K.
Okay. This is not DomCon, is a trilogy because last year DomCon celebrated its 20th anniversary, and I celebrated the publishing of my 50th book. So I went to Mistress Cyan, who created DomCon, and I asked her if I could use DomCon LA to be the backdrop of my trilogy where all of my characters would come and converge, like after their books.
That's
so
so
cool.
smart.
And she agreed. And I have to throw this out there because I always like dissing on Thomas. When I told him the idea, he said, "Not a chance in hell that you can pull that off."
Excuse
Look,
me.
look, just do this right here again. Pop your collar
I'm like, who
and
said
let
this
them know
was
the power of a woman. Okay? Just let it know. Pop, 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 pop,
Yeah.
pop, pop.
And so he said, how I could see it working is if you took and made little vignettes of each of your books and tell the story of those particular characters going to DomCon. And I said, no, that is not what I'm talking about. Like, I already have 3 huge arcs that will travel the entire trilogy, and they intersect with all of the characters. Like, that's the whole point. So his my bravado stuck, but underneath it, when I actually went to plot it out, I'm staring at this page and I'm like, holy shit, I have over 40 characters that I'm putting in this book. And I'm like, what do I do? And but I figured it out, and Thomas is the first one to say, "You are right. I am wrong. You did it, and this is phenomenal."
That's
That's awesome. I'm
awesome.
sorry. Say it again for people in the back.
Right.
Yeah.
You're awesome
Oh,
again.
I always make him repeat it. And I also did paid sponsorships with that book.
Whoa, that's
So
smart.
if my readers wanted to be in a BJ Frazier book, then they could sponsor a scene.
That's awesome.
And so I was like, I don't even know if people are going to want to do this. And so I also offered it that, hey, you pay this amount for one book. If you want to be in all 3, you got to pay it 3 times. Just thinking, oh, I'm so clever. I've got all of my T's crossed and my I's dotted. And I did have a couple of people who sponsored all 3. And when I went to write it, I was like, fuck, I have to come up with like an actual plot line where they're going to be
You
in
didn't
all
think they
these
were
3
gonna do it. Huh?
Yeah.
I love
But
that.
it was super fun. I think that it comes out beautifully, and I don't think that somebody um who comes across those scenes will be able to tell that they're sponsored because I think that they fit seamlessly in the book.
Awesome.
So exciting.
And
So
you don't need to read all of the books in order to appreciate that trilogy either.
I don't think you do. I only touched on one of them, and I was just like, wow. I think that you develop your characters so well that you can
That's
get
what the
into it.
warning's
Yeah,
for.
you can really get into it. So I think that's awesome. So
Well,
one
thank
thing I
you.
wanted to ask you, how do you feel about like, because I always have like creative ideas, and in the past I wanted to collaborate with another individual that I met on Twitter. How do you feel about connecting with other people to just read your stories? I started this small little series on my on my Instagram where I'm reading a book that's called The 100 Best Poems, right? And I'm
Okay.
reading them in my sexy, vocals. That's my thing. I love audio erotica. So how do
Yeah.
you feel
You have an
about
amazing voice.
thank
Right?
you.
Yeah.
How do you feel about like collaborating with ideas like that? How do you, just maybe short stories being your short stories being read. I think that would be like a cool idea.
Let's talk.
I
Ooh.
think we should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as I was like, I got so into your short viewings, listenings of the book. I was like, man, wouldn't that be cool if there was like a character? I'm always ready to do something different, and I think the way that I'm choosing to enter this kink world, I'm trying different ways. Like I have content that I want to post, but I'm trying to do it in a manner that I feel that just represents me the right way, and I just haven't found that. So maybe we should talk. We should talk. I think we should talk. Because I really love the way that you develop your characters. And I think that, that would be something interesting, just short stories, something that might,
Yeah.
people your way and hopefully get me some
Yeah.
clients.
Well,
Cool.
let me
Doms.
tell you of my latest project. Did you guys ever watch soap operas when you were little?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Even now.
Yes. Still
Okay.
do.
So I created a sci-fi fantasy femdom soap opera. And
Wow. That's kind of mind blowing. That's a lot.
there are 9 episodes that are published right now. I've got 10 already done, and that's coming up soon. But
Wow.
those are shorts. And I bet that you would have a blast voicing some of those characters.
I think I would. Let's talk because I
Okay, yeah.
feel like the kink world deserves to hear Goddess Aroya Lessons' voice.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because the other world don't
Totally.
understand, girl. So, I'm trying to move my fleet in here some kind of way. So I love that idea. So
Oh yeah,
for sure.
completely. So what is it that you like to write, Mistress Kayla?
I honestly like to write like crime fiction.
Cool.
Yeah. I like organized crime.
I
do.
I can see that. Like a mob story.
Yeah, or like any kind of like organized, like whether it's the hood or like Italian mob. But yeah,
I love that. I love that. As she pets her little
She's like,
drag.
Yeah.
Fell asleep.
Yeah, that's so cool. I'm going to be preparing a writing class for DomCon LA.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. That'll be industry only, I think. That's the way it was told to me. Because lots of people have stories. And I'm sure you guys have tons of stories, but they just don't know how to start or where to start or anything. So I'm pretty excited about that too because
Definitely gonna attend that.
yeah. Because I'm a teacher, so that
Now I think
comes
that'd be
out.
great.
That would be awesome.
oh yay.
So do you have any have you ever taught a class at DomCon?
I haven't because I wanted to get a feel for what the convention was. And also going to the classes and seeing everything, I was like, it's got to be something that I can do that can wow people. And I haven't really found that, but I have found the perfect way to teach this class, which will be interactive and fun and educational at the same time.
And you're a teacher, so that's awesome. I would love to see that. I just today I submitted for DomCon NOLA, and hopefully we'll see what happens. But I really do know that they need. I love the fact that they open it up to everyone, and you can be super creative on the classes that you present. And I think that it would be awesome to learn how to develop characters the way that you develop them. So I would for sure attend that class for sure.
That can like really help with like what we do also, like just developing maybe like a little bit different of a dom for this person who likes more like pain versus not. So give us the secrets, girl.
Ooh, okay.
That is
I'm going to NOLA, so I look forward to seeing you guys again. Yeah.
You going?
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure. I love that. Yeah. Yes, we got to see you. You guys got to see her face. You get to see her face. Yes. I love that. So we are about to end this show really soon. Can you tell people where else they can find you? Are you available on Instagram or any other platforms?
I am on BDSMler, which is a very naughty site. I'm on Tumblr. I have 2 accounts on Twitter. One of them is safe for work and the other one is not safe for work. And I've been
What's your
working.
tagline on there or your name on there?
Oh, let me look that up for you because I only
Yeah,
go there. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
when you get a chance,
Um,
you can send it to me
it
and
is
I'll add it to the
B-
tagline.
BJF Frazier NSFW,
Okay, NSFW.
and then XXX BJF Frazier, but that's the one that I will follow people back on. But to clear out my notifications and to actually get through them, I use the NSFW one so that I can actually see real interactions.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get the ones that you prefer, or like all of them, whatever. We'll
Yeah,
put them in order
but I
that you
have
prefer.
followed all of you guys, I think, on the
Yay.
NSFW one. So yeah,
So
Okay.
now that we know that we're not getting a photo of you for the promo, could you give us like a promo like of one of maybe your characters or an avatar or something so that when we promo you, I love the mysterious idea. Like I wish that I could like do something really cool. Like I don't know, I'm gonna figure it out. Something like a like a writer, like who is she? Like 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 I'm gonna figure it out something really cool for your promo. But if you can, let me know. Give me some creative ideas for your photo because I love this idea.
Oh goodness. Okay. And I would like whatever website you guys would like published because on my website I have a kinky links pull down menu, and I will put your website up there because I have a separate section on websites that BJ visits,
Okay.
and then I will, with your permission, also, if you give me like a little, maybe, I don't know if you can, but a little clip of this show, I can include it in my next blog post and send people to listen to it.
I love
For
that.
sure, for sure. I'm what I was thinking because we recently chose a new air date. So and with this series I'm going to release 2 in the week. So what I'm
Okay.
thinking is I'm going to release the one from our last writer on Friday and then Wednesday I may release this one so that we keep that within the week timeline of your coupon deal as well, okay?
Well,
I
I
think
can
that's
change
smart.
that date for whenever you want.
Okay. Okay. Okay, great.
I love that.
So
We
you
are
just
so
let me.
thankful for you. We are so thankful that you actually took the time to do this. Our goal is to educate our community on just so many things, the things that they don't know about. And the moment I met you, I just kind of knew that it would be great for people to hear about you. So I'm so thankful that we kind of followed through on this and it happened and you were able to be my
Yes,
girl.
absolutely.
I
And
love
thank you guys so much for popping my cherry, and I look forward to
I'm so
girl.
happy with us.
I love
Consider your cherry pop.
and
that.
I would love feedback from you guys and love to come back whenever you want me.
For
Thank
sure. We
you.
love that. We are what make my goal, like I said, I submitted today, but my goal is to do a live show. So like we want to do like maybe we'll do you like behind the veil. You know what I'm saying? A live NOLA
Cyber
show. We
veil.
have you a cyber veil for BJ Frazier. You know, I'm
Yeah,
thinking creatively to kind of keep them drawn into the idea
sure.
of not being able to see you. I love that idea. So or have you off
We're
on the
not
mic
worthy
like
enough.
a mile away on a mic. Like, yes, I'm here being interviewed, but I'm not there. Oh, I love
We'll just bring Lucy, and Lucy will be there.
yeah. I love that.
I love
So
it.
good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and anyone that's listening, please go and follow BJ Frazier. Over 61 or 62 books.
Yeah, we going
We're
into
coming up
70.
to 60. Yep.
Many books to choose from, quizzes, an award was one. Like,
Yes.
you need to go and
definitely go check out the site. It's really, really cool. It's
really
very cool. It's very unique.
Yeah.
Very
in a good way.
unique.
And
yes.
then once you buy
Thank
some of
you.
our books with the coupon code, you can go and follow us again on Patreon and all of our stuff too.
Yes. And you can follow us on your BJ. I'll send you the information, but our website is dommenate.com. DOMMENATE.com.
Yeah, I love
find out
that.
more information about us there. You can find out information about the podcast. We are doing some restructuring, so you'll see different things for a few weeks, but we eventually will be right in the pocket with everything, and you'll see more of us. And also visit venusandbells.com if you are interested in getting a session with us beautiful doms here at the studio. We will direct your life in the right direction.
Yeah.
As long as you do the right
Lots
thing.
of events, lots of stuff to do.
Yeah, lots of good things to do. And please, once again, check out PJ Frazier. Thank you.
Yay, thank you so much.
You so
You're
much.
awesome.
Thank you for this
Thank
interview.
you.
I will send you the information for the future when we release it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So I'm going to end the recording. Bye. Don't hang up yet.